Good evening, you are watching TV 47 News tonight. I am Musa Salah and these are the top stories making headlines tonight. Tonight, world record holder Agnes Tirop found stabbed to death at her home in Iten.
Today is a very sad day to athletics family. We lack words to say.
Her husband is a suspect as police commence investigations. Also tonight, DP Ruto defends his hustler narrative.
James Mwangi of Equity Bank built Equity Bank from a building society. Today, it is the largest bank in Kenya. That is the story of a hustler.
As Raila intensifies his campaigns in Nairobi.
Tunataka kuona kama tunajenga manyumba sawa sawa na kodi ya nyumba inarudi chini.
Plus, President Kenyatta rejects ICJ ruling on Somalia maritime dispute.
Kenya wishes to indicate that it rejects in totality and does not recognize the findings in the decision.
ICJ sets Kenya-Somalia maritime border at midpoint in the disputed triangle. Welcome to the broadcast. Ann Wairemu is our sign language interpreter for the night. TV 47 News tonight begins right now. ODM boss Raila Odinga held several stopovers in his tour of Nairobi's Kamkunji area. Odinga accusing his opponents of giving false promises to Kenyans, as Paul Kirobi now reports.
The ODM boss was in Nairobi Kamukunji ground, drumming up support for his 2022 presidential bid.
Kumekucha. Togosha wiki mara tatu.
Odinga accused his opponents of giving false promises to lure Kenyans ahead of next year's polls. He also promised to change the lives of Kenyans if elected president next year.
Kumbukeni, wakati tulipokuwa tunapigana kama NAK, tulisema tukishika tutaleta elimu bure. Ya bure. Sinasema namna hiyo. Wanasema haiwezekani. Tunaleta hatu kuleta. Bei ya bidhaa muhimu zimepanda. Hata bei ya mafuta imepanda. Niliwaambia washushe chini bei ya mafuta.
Odinga made several stopovers in Kamukunji area after the rally, urging Kenyans to turn up in large number to register as voters in the ongoing mass registration.
Vilevile hatutaki kuona kama polisi inahangaisha wananchi. Polisi kazi yao ni kulinda wananchi, sio kunyanyasa.
Later, Odinga held talks with financial experts at the University of Nairobi a day after he met a section of Mount Kenya youth at the same venue.
Kura na sisi Jubilee na ODM tumesema tuko bamba kwa bamba. Tuko katika hali ya bamba kwa bamba. Hii ni wakati wa Mandela time wa Kenya yetu.
Manake kama mnapenda baba, mumuonyeshe mapenzi na tuko sawa. Nairobi mko rada. Rada na baba. Semeni rada na baba.
Nataka tutoke, tuchukue kura. Raila must be president, Ruto must be resident.
Na sisi kama jeshi ya baba, Nairobi na Kenya mzima, tuko tayari kuhakikisha kwamba watu wameshika kura, baba awe rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya.
The ODM boss will be touring to Turkana and Uasin Gishu counties from tomorrow. Paul Kirobi, TV 47, Nairobi.
Well, still in politics, Deputy President William Ruto has defended his hustler narrative, which he says should not be linked to poverty. The DP was meeting UDA aspirants from various counties, as Micah Gongo now reports.
Murembe bosi. Murembe handi. While
defending his hustler narrative, the Deputy President says there is a movement of industrious Kenyans focused on the economic development. Ruto said it is unfair for leaders to reduce Kenyans' desire to eradicate poverty to a contest between the rich and the poor. Success stories were as a result of changes in the models of delivery, saying the bottom-up model will work too.
It tells you that it doesn't matter where you begin. It gives hope to even the child of a single mother and the child of every ordinary Kenyan that it is not where you start from. It is possible to get to the highest if you put in hard work, commitment, and focus on what you do.
He called on Parliament not to use academic qualifications to lock out politicians seeking elective seats.
Our position is that let everybody have a chance to run. Let the people decide. Yeah? Education is very good. It is very good. And it must count for something. You know? But let it count by mimi ambaye niko na degree. Wacha mimi niende kwa raia. Niambie raia, mimi I am very intelligent. I have a degree. I will do this job better.
Ruto's ally says UDA is a national political party that will accommodate every Kenyan. The party SG Veronica Maina urging aspirants to mobilize their unregistered supporters to take part in the ongoing mass voter registration exercise.
Jambo la kwanza ni sera ya siasa ile ambayo tunataka kuuzia wa Kenya. Sera ambayo inatoa uhakikisho kwa wananchi wa Kenya kwamba watapata utumishi tofauti na uliokuwa hapo mbeleni.
The elections for 2022 are being determined by the number of voters who we register now, because 6 million is a big number. In actual fact, we have seen the gap between those who need to be registered is actually about 9 million. I do not know why IEBC is not targeting the 3 extra million, but we could do it by jamming the KIMS kit to ensure that everybody gets registered. So get busy, get the voters. Those are the same people who will vote for you come 2022.
The aspirants were from Kakamega, Bungoma, Busia, Sevenamaik, Kagwongo.
And Kenya has rejected the International Court of Justice ruling on the Kenya-Somalia maritime border dispute. 10 out of 14 judges on Tuesday largely ruled in favor of Somalia, with the court ordering that the disputed maritime triangle be split and the border be adjusted equitably. According to President Uhuru Kenyatta, the ruling could have implications on the Horn of Africa and has vowed to protect Kenya's maritime border. Kenya's protest against the binding judgment without appeal now raises questions on what next and who can rather enforce the judgment. Hours after the 14-judge bench at the International Court of Justice ruled that the Kenya-Somalia maritime border dispute be solved amicably by splitting the disputed triangle, President Uhuru Kenyatta has rejected the binding judgment, with Kenyatta claiming that Kenya was not surprised with the court's ruling.
Kenya wishes to indicate that it rejects in totality and does not recognize the findings in the decision. The decision embodies a perpetuation of the ICJ's jurisdictional overreach and raises a fundamental question on the respect of the sovereignty and consent of states to international judicial processes.
In the over half a decade-old case, Somalia argued in court that the sea frontier in the Indian Ocean should follow in the same direction as its land border. Somalia also argued that Kenya violated its sovereignty by operating in its territorial waters and demanded reparations. Kenya, on the other hand, claimed that its maritime border runs in a line due east from where the two countries meet at the coast. However, in its ruling, the ICJ rejected both arguments, settling on splitting the triangle into two to give both countries a favorable judgment. As a result, the newly developed median line separates Kenya and Somalia at 12 nautical miles from the coast and runs for another 200 nautical miles into the international maritime borders.
Ms. Linda Thomas Greenfield.
According to President Uhuru Kenyatta, the international court's ruling could have unknown implications in the Horn of Africa. Thousands of fishermen in the island of Lamu who claim the triangle harbors most of their fishing grounds, faulting the ICJ for not visiting the disputed area.
It will also reverse the social, political, and economic gains and potentially aggravate the peace and security situation in the fragile Horn of Africa region.
Kenya is a true friend, and that friendship can be extended by cordial working relationship between Kenya and Somalia. With President Kenyatta promising to defend Kenya's territorial boundaries and the court without a means to enforce the ruling, it is unclear what will happen next. Earlier this month, President Kenyatta upgraded the Manda Bay Forward Operations Base, which played a key role in the capture of Kismayu by KDF in September 2012, to a full naval base. But international relations experts have ruled out the possibility of the two countries going to war.
All right, the family of murdered Dutch tycoon Topkap has filed a petition before the Public Service Commission (PSC) seeking to have the Director of Public Prosecutions Noordin Haji removed from office on grounds of interfering with Cohen's murder case, as well as protecting the prosecution of Court of Appeal Judge Sankale Olekantai, whom the Directorate of Criminal Investigations (DCI) has mentioned as an accomplice in Cohen's murder. Mwangi Maina has the details.
The family of the late Topkap, through lawyers Dunstan Omari and Cliff Ombeta, have accused the Director of Public Prosecutions Noordin Haji of meddling with their kin's murder case. The battery of lawyers accompanying Ombeta and Omari marched to the Public Service Commission offices to present their petition. Cohen's sister Gabrielle Hanan van Straten, who is a petitioner, argues that the interference of the DPP with investigations from the DCI is derailing the case.
The DPP's office is an office where it is like Caesar's wife, beyond reproach. The moment we have raised very fundamental questions, he needs to step aside, the way he has told all the governors every time they are charged to step aside, until he is cleared from office.
Cohen's family has accused the DPP of instructing the DCI to close the investigation file of Court of Appeal Judge Sankale Olekantai, whom the DCI has implicated in Cohen's murder plot and the cover-up after the murder.
The Director of Public Prosecution, Mr. Noordin Haji, stopped the prosecution of one Justice Olekantai, who is a prime suspect in the murder of the late Topkap, who is our client. In a letter he has written to stop the police, he has instructed the Director of Criminal Investigation, Mr. George Kinoti, never again, the file is closed, and there should be no further police action.
You realize that the DPP does not want to take action in matters. When you realize that he is leaning on other sides, when you realize that he is a person who favors people, when you realize that he has got cold feet in other matters, and you realize he becomes hyper when he is only on national television, then you realize you have a problem.
Cohen's family claims that the DPP is operating with impunity by protecting persons perceived to be influential, which they say amounts to abuse of power.
In itself tells us that in the eyes of the Director of Public Prosecutions, he has people who are higher in terms of their ranking, and they should be accorded a different treatment in the manner in which, if police officers are to arrest or if they are to be charged before a competent court of law.
The lawyers have also faulted Noordin Haji for advocating for foreign investigators to unravel the murder of the tycoon, arguing that this is lacking faith and belittling Kenya's investigating agencies. Mwangi Maina, TV47, Nairobi.
While still in the corridors of justice, self-confessed serial killer behind the gruesome murder of more than 10 minors, Masten Milimo Wanzala, has escaped from police custody at the Jogoo Road police station. It's still unclear under what circumstances Wanzala managed to slip away from the watch of police officers on duty at the station. This happened just right before he was expected to be arraigned at the Makadara Law Courts today. An alarm has been raised to comb the area to arrest Wanzala, who is now a fugitive. Well, 15 minutes past the hour, and it is time to take our first commercial break, but we'll be back with more. Do stay with us.
You are watching TV 47, the home of untold stories. Next on Men's Conference.
Does your friend, does his girlfriend, things end? Do you go there or do you leave it?
She's free and I kind of fancy her, so, I try my luck.
God gave human beings the power to choose. This whole X thing is just politics.
Men's Conference, every Wednesday at 10 p.m.
Doc, suchapia story.
Wasi, jana.
Kenya's award-winning TV station TV47, in conjunction with Club Melodin, brings you Africa Express. Join in the party with DJ Mosese and DJ Kiki. Wine and dine with your super entertaining hosts Nafuna Namiso and PDG Dr. Nico himself. All roads lead to Club Melodin in Upper Hill, Saturday, October 16th from 4 p.m. Kenya's award-winning TV station TV47, in conjunction with Club Melodin, brings you Africa Express. Join in the party with DJ Mosese and DJ Kiki. Wine and dine with your super entertaining hosts Nafuna Namiso and PDG Dr. Nico himself. All roads
Oh, hi guys. Sorry, you found me 5 minutes before I started recording, but anyway, so most of you have been asking me why I started Lady CLC 19 with Joy Rongo. I have also had my own share of pain. I know how it feels to want to give up. This is basically here to speak hope and inspire somebody who's going through a rough patch, to tell them that they can turn their pain into power. Our guests are normally here to share their experiences so that you can know somebody else did it, so you can also come out of it stronger and better. Let me go to my recording, and remember to always stay tuned every Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
undertaking husband duties on a boyfriend tender.
Guys, with bromance, do you share your woman with the bro?
Have a sister, give me your sister. I show you how these things are done.
So you go release and be like,
Men supporting each other, not only financially, but also socially.
Don't mingle with women you can't deal with.
Is there really a formula for dating and marriage?
Some men are procreational, some men are recreational.
Every every Wednesday on TV47. The Men's Conference brings you a cocktail of top-notch advice to breed alpha males or alpha females in the society.
Tunaweza tumia hii nje tutresi hiyo do.
Mimi naitwa Ben. Mimi ndo rafiki ya babako.
Tumeleta dozi zako usimize mtoto.
And now we have to deal with a drug addict.
Yaani ulio mzai wako. I had to.
Sema! Dozi zangu ziko wapi?
Ben! Tuisheni Uganda.
The road to 2022 is becoming tougher and trickier with each passing day.
Na wawache kuja kutuletea makasiriko.
Political aspirants in a dilemma whether to change allegiance or not.
Nonetheless, you have
Of untold stories.
Welcome back. You're watching TV47 News Tonight. Now, you could be smiling to the petrol station soon should the government approve the recommendations of the National Assembly Finance and Planning Committee. The committee recommends reduction in petroleum development levy on super petrol and diesel from 5.4 shillings to 2.9 shillings, as Andrin Kilemi now reports.
The cost of petrol is set to come down should members of parliament approve new recommendations by the Finance and National Planning Committee on fuel prices. In a report tabled Tuesday, the committee recommended a reduction in petroleum development levy on super petrol and diesel from 5.40 shillings to 2.90 shillings. The committee further proposed amendments of the value-added tax from 8% to 4%. Amendment of the Value-Added Tax Act 2015 to reflect the change in the tax rate for petroleum and petroleum products from 16% to 8% consequently. The committee has backed the reduction of gross margins of oil marketing companies by 3 shillings from 12 shillings per litre to 9 shillings per litre consequently. The committee also wants the inflation adjustment on fuel for the year 2021-2022 consequently. If adopted as proposed, petrol users would see the greatest relief at the pump. The report follows public participation with various stakeholders in the petroleum industry. However, Deputy President William Ruto believes that cartels at the energy sector are to blame for the high prices.
It's not even about the taxes. It is about the corruption in the Ministry of Petroleum that is aiding a few companies to make super profits while the ordinary citizen in Kenya is suffering high prices.
The energy regulator is set to announce the new prices this week. Andrin Kilemi, TV 47.
Now, still on the same, Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i has warned managers at the Kenya Power and Lighting Company KPLC against frustrating efforts to reform efforts at KPLC. This follows complaints by the new steering committee, as Joansho Sare now reports.
Interior CS Dr. Fred Matiang'i and his energy counterpart Monica Juma met the steering committee tasked to review power purchase agreements as its 6 months mandate begins. The all-of-government approach with a cabinet subcommittee.
It became necessary to do this so that, as we say, we address our strategic objectives in developing our country and ensuring that we address the challenges such as the cost of living, cost of doing business around and stuff like that.
The CS says the government through the committee will provide oversight to ensure an alignment and streamline efficiency among energy sector players. The task force made a number of recommendations, including the review of PPAs, which are contracts that electricity producers have with the Kenya Power and largely blamed for the high cost of power in the country. In a Gazette notice dated October 7th, the head of public service, Joseph Kinyua, said the committee will oversee, coordinate, and monitor the implementation of the recommendations of the Presidential Task Force and provide advisory and technical support during the implementation of the recommendations of the Presidential Task Force.
We have begun a serious discussion on renegotiating these agreements with the intention of bringing down the tariffs and therefore, of course, bringing down the cost of power, as it were. We will address the many challenges together, and I am grateful that we now have the opportunity to resolve some of the issues that have faced this sector for a very long time.
The committee will report periodically to the Cabinet Subcommittee on KPLC chaired by Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i, with the first of the progress reports set to be submitted by December 5th this year.
The supervision, the general supervision of this will be done by a Cabinet committee, which is a subcommittee, which is chaired by the CS Interior, CS Matiang'i, whom I'll give a moment to also confirm that we are on the right track.
The task force, chaired by John Ngumi, has promised to give a comprehensive report by December this year.
Working with the Ministry of Energy, the CS and PS, and working with the various agencies, KPLC and others, we deliver a report on the implementation to make sure that we have done substantive implementation by the beginning of December.
Joash Onsare, TV 47, Nairobi.
Now, on the COVID-19 situation in the country, county governments are to blame for the poor COVID-19 uptake in their specific counties. This is according to the Ministry of Health, that has now resolved to blaming county governments, even as the 5.8 million vaccinations by Mashujaa Day proves to be a long shot. Zaina Mohammed has more.
With some counties witnessing an extremely low turnout as far as the COVID-19 vaccination exercise is concerned, the Ministry of Health is now blaming individual county governments for the poor performance.
My problem is not the people who are refusing to take vaccines. My problem is the people who want vaccines and can't get them. That's a very different problem. Kwa sababu, when wewe ukitaka chanjo na hupati, hiyo sasa inakuwa ni kazi yangu. That's now my job. If you can't get it, it's my job. Ukikataa, hiyo sio kazi yangu. Hiyo sio kazi yangu.
According to the ministry, Kenya has over 7.5 million assorted COVID-19 vaccines available, and it is up to the county governments to prioritize the health of their citizenry.
Wananchi waulize magavana, CECs wa health katika zile counties ambazo zina 1.5%, na tutapatia media. We will give you those results so that you can publish the first county, the best counties, and the worst counties. Ikiwa worst county, sio mimi nasema. It is the statistics that are there. And you can't start making excuses and saying that, in this county, we don't have this and we don't have the other. Every county has exactly the same things. It's a question of efficiency. It is a question of commitment. It's a question of dedication. And it's a question of realization that you want to save those people in those counties.
The 5.8 million vaccinations by Mashujaa Day, that is barely a week away, now proving to be a long shot.
We are at 4.3 million people in terms of vaccinations. This will go up. We are confident that even if we don't get to the 5.8 million that we are targeting, we will still be very, very far up there. We have a lot of cases. We have a lot of data that has not come back to us yet, on even cases that have been diagnosed in various counties. So we are confident that even our current figures are higher than that.
Joseph Kagwe was speaking during the launch of ISO accreditation of 5 out of 8 national public health reference labs at the Kenyatta National Hospital. Zainab Mohammed, T47.
Well, Zainab Mohammed's report takes us to our second commercial break, but we'll be back with more. Do stay with us.
You are watching TV47. Kenya's award-winning TV station TV47, in conjunction with Club Melody, brings you Africa Express. Join in the party with DJ Mosese and DJ Kiki. Wine and dine with your super entertaining hosts Nafuna Namiso and PDG Dr. Nico himself. All roads lead to Club Melody in Upper Hill, Saturday, October 16th from 4 p.m. Kenya's award-winning TV station TV47, in conjunction with Club Melody, brings you Africa Express. Join in the party with DJ Mosese and DJ Kiki. Wine and dine with your super entertaining hosts Nafuna Namiso and PDG Dr. Nico himself. All roads lead to Club Melody in Upper Hill, Saturday, October 16th from 4 p.m. Kenya's award-winning TV station TV47, in conjunction with Club Melody, brings you Africa Express. Join in the party with DJ Mosese and DJ Kiki. Wine and dine with your super entertaining hosts Nafuna Namiso and PDG Dr. Nico himself. All roads lead to Club Melody in Upper Hill, Saturday, October 16th from 4 p.m.
Oh, hi guys. Sorry, you found me 5 minutes before I started recording, but anyway, so most of you have been asking me why I started Lady CLC 19 with Joy Rongo. I have also had my own share of pain. I know how it feels to want to give up. This is basically here to speak hope and inspire somebody who's going through a rough patch, to tell them that they can turn their pain into power. Our guests are normally here to share their experiences so that you can know somebody else did it, so you can also come out of it stronger and better. Let me go to my recording, and remember to always stay tuned every Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
Undertaking husband duties on a boyfriend tender.
Guys, with bromance, do you share your woman with the bro?
Have a sister? Give me your sister. I show you how these things are done.
So you go release and be like,
Men supporting each other, not only financially, but also socially.
Don't mingle with women you can't deal with.
Is there really a formula for dating and marriage?
Some men are procreational, some men are recreational.
Every Wednesday on TV47, the Men's Conference brings you a cocktail of top-notch advice to breed alpha males for alpha females in the society.
Tunaweza tumeite nje tutrace hiyo do. Mimi naitwa Ben, mimi ndo rafiki ya babako.
Tumeleta dozi zako, usimize mtoto.
And now we have to deal with a drug addict.
Yani ulio mzai wako. I had to.
Sema! Dozi zangu ziko wapi?
Ben! Tuisheni Uganda.
The road to 2022 is becoming tougher and trickier with each passing day.
Na wawache kuja kutuletea.
All right, welcome back. You are watching TV47 News Tonight. Keep talking to us. 22047 is our SMS line. You can also find us on social media at TV47 Kenya on Facebook, as well as at TV47K on Twitter. The hashtag to use is TV47 News Tonight. Now, world record holder Agnes Tirop has been found stabbed to death at her home in Iten. According to a statement released by Athletics Kenya, Tirop's body was found with stab wounds around her neck in what is suspected to be a homicide. Dennis Otieno has that report.
Where we had two together, shoulder to shoulder, and then it was
barely a few weeks.
Oh, hi guys. Sorry, you found me 5 minutes before I started recording, but anyway, so most of you have been asking me why I started Lady CLC 19 with Joy Rongo. I have also had my own share of pain. I know how it feels to want to give up. This is basically here to speak hope and inspire somebody who's going through a rough patch, to tell them that they can turn their pain into power. Our guests are normally here to share their experiences so that you can know somebody else did it, so you can also come out of it stronger and better. Let me go to my recording, and remember to always stay tuned every Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
Undertaking husband duties on a boyfriend tender.
Guys, with bromance, do you share your woman with the bro?
Have a sister, give me your sister. I show you how these things are done.
So you go release and be like,
Men supporting each other, not only financially, but also socially.
Don't mingle with women you can't deal with.
Is there really a formula for dating and marriage?
Some men are procreational, some men are recreational.
Every Wednesday on TV47, the Men's Conference brings you a cocktail of top-notch advice to breed alpha males for alpha females in the society.
Tunaweza tumeite nje tutesiwe do. Mimi naitwa Ben, mimi ndo rafiki ya babako.
Tumeleta dozi zako usimize mtoto.
And now we have to deal with a drug addict.
Yaani ulio mzai wako. I had to.
Sema! Dozi zangu ziko wapi?
Ben! Tuisheni Uganda.
It is heartbreaking indeed. May the family of Tirop find, of course, comfort during this difficult moment. Stephen Kariuki, a 67-year-old man from Nakuru, has today begun walking from Nakuru to Kirinyaga County for the Mashujaa Day celebrations. Now listen to this. Kariuki says it is not his first time and that it is a routine every year. Our very own Chichi Josephine caught up with him and filed the following report.
Stephen Kariuki, a 67-year-old man, has made it a norm to walk to venues of every Mashujaa Day celebration from his home in Kivumbini in Nakuru County.
Hii ni ya safari ya 4 tangu nilipoanza kutembea kutokana na wakati Ruto alikuwa na petition Nairobi. Nikafuatiwa na kwenda mpaka Bukungu Stadium 2018. 2019 nikairuka ilikuwa Mombasa. Sasa 2020 nikatembea mpaka Kisii.
Kariuki usually walks alone to all Mashujaa events, but today Samuel Mwangi decided to join him on his journey to Kirinyaga, where this year's Mashujaa celebrations will be held.
Nimeishi kumwambia siku zote hizo safari zenye ameenda tuweze kuandamana naye, lakini kwa kweli sijui ni amekuwa akiona au amekuwa akinikataza. Lakini this time nashukuru aliweza kuingiana na mimi na akaweza kuniambia na akaweza kuniteua tuweze kuenda na yeye hiyo safari.
Some of the things he carries in his journey are the Kenya national flag to symbolize patriotism, as well as this 3-legged stool that he narrates the theory behind it.
Hiyo ndio kwanza inafanyaga attractive kwa hawa, mpaka mtu ananisimamisha na ananiuliza ni vipi hiyo kiti kwanza, hii kiti ndio anataka kuuliza historia yake, na akiniuliza mimi nampea historia yake. Na ndio mimi upumzikia, nikichoka nikitaka kunywa maji na kaji na ikalia na kunywa, nawaza kivyangu, narudi natembea.
Kariuki's walking journey took off at 11 a.m. as he heads to Kirinyaga, which he says he hopes will take him 7 days to arrive at the ground of the event.
Na nataka nitembee kwa siku 6-7. Tarehe 19 Mungu akinijalia niwe nimefika Kirinyaga.
Chichi Josephine, TV 47, Nakuru.
Well, that is just one of the little things we do to celebrate the sacrifice of the heroes that gave away their blood and sweat for this country that we call Kenya. Now, a lactating mother was stabbed by a stranger on Wednesday morning at Watalam village in Ruiru, Kiambu County. Grace Gitonga says the attacker wanted to steal her baby and put up a fight that resulted in her being stabbed in the neck.
Shaken, in pain, and with lots of questions, Grace Gitonga is being escorted back home by her husband Collins Otieno from Ruiru District Hospital, where she was treated for stab wounds in her neck. Grace had a near-death experience in the wee hours of Wednesday as she fought a man who had gained access to their house. She says the stranger wanted to steal her baby.
Siwezi jua hata alifunguaje mimi. But mimi nimemwona tu hana meno na ni kijana mdogo sana. Si mrefu sana na ni mkonde. Mimi amenidunga kisu kapiga duru. Nimeona tu kama nimeenda. So wakati nimepiga duru ndio ametoroka na naambia huyo mtu anatoka. Huyo akamfuata hajamuona.
Itaonekana. Her husband woke up when she heard her scream.
Ilikuwa usiku wa saa 9 hiyo masaa hiyo nikasikia huyu akipiga nduru. Akisema ui, nikajiuliza shida ni, nikaamuka mbio nikamuuliza kwani ni ndoto gani hiyo unaota unapiga kelele? Nyamaza. Akaniambia mtoto wangu. Kuangalia mtoto napata damu imejaa kwa uso kote. Nini imefanyika? Kuangalia kwa shingo yake ndio damu inatoka. Nikabidi akaniambia ndio hebu mfuate, na mimi nikatoka nikipiga nduru. Kufika nje napata gate imefunguliwa. Kujaribu kupiga nduru ndo at least majirani wakakuja.
Residents of Watalam village in Ruiru say the area has become a criminal's den. They say in the last 2 weeks, bodies of 2 women with stab wounds were found in the area. They now want police officers at Watalam police post to start patrolling the area regularly. They also want security lights installed in the village. Grace's attacker is still at large. Sharon Baranga, TV 47.
Now, on the road to 2022, IEBC has launched a students' voter registration drive targeting institutions of higher learning in the ongoing mass voter registration drive. Faith Weru has more.
The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, has launched a student voter registration drive at the University of Nairobi. Under the new plan, each university will be given a BVR kit to facilitate the exercise.
The voter registration exercise is therefore the first key step in the roadmap to 2022 general election. I invite the youth of this country to ensure that their voice is safely tagged in the register of voters so that we are ready, they are ready to cast their votes and exercise their democratic right.
The exercise is aimed at making it easy for the students to register as they continue with their studies. However, unwillingness by the youth to register have been the greatest challenge facing the commission.
And this is where we have the problem. Why would you want to wait for Muhesh to come and talk to you and maybe even give you a handout for you to go and register? It means you don't know your role in the society.
The Registrar of Political Parties, Andy Ruto, urged the youth not to allow politicians to use them in dirty politics, especially during campaigns.
Some corner talked about peaceful election. I do not think any youth in this country want to be used again for any political violence. I know the youth have matured. You have enough problems, by the way. Part of the problem should not be the problem to be used as conduit of violence.
The exercise will run until the 2nd of November. Lack of identity cards by a population that has attained the age of 18 years and the culture of the last-minute rush, where Kenyans go for the exercises when deadlines approach, has also been blamed for the turnout so far. Faith Weru, TV 47.
Well, still on that, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, says all is set for tomorrow's Gomasumba by-election, that is in Makueni County. Dennis Simon is our man on the ground and joins us with a quick update of the race that is said to be a battle between Deputy President William Ruto's UDA and Wiper's Kalonzo Musyoka.
It is a by-election like no other here in Makueni County in this particular ward, Gomasumba ward, whereby after witnessing massive campaigns from the Wiper party, from the UDA party, and even from the independent candidate who is being backed by the Makueni Governor, Professor Kifudha Kibwana, Timothy Maneno, coming down to the wire. Now we are waiting for the decision on who to win in the mini polls. Normally in such polls, we witness low voter turnout, and according to the IEBC returning officer in this particular ward has told us that 11,243 voters will participate in this by-election, whereby Daniel Kivuva Musau of UDA party, Timothy Maneno, who is independent candidate, and Aisho Mwarewa of the Wiper party will be vying to see who will inherit the seat which was left vacant after the demise of the former member of County Assembly, Harris Ngoi. According to the Independent and Electoral Boundaries Commission, it's all system set for the by-election. They assured that everything has been aligned in terms of security, in terms of voting materials, which will be used in all polling stations across the ward.
As we speak, all systems are good to go. We are raring to go right now. We are just about to release our officers to the stations. We've got 31 polling centers and 34 polling stations. Each of these polling stations will be manned by a PO, DPO, clerks, security, and we will also have agents from different political parties represented, and even an agent for the independent candidate represented there.
Earlier today, Makueni County Commissioner Mohamed Maalim assured of enough security during and after the polls, assuring that they will be on alert to ensure that no chaos will be witnessed in all polling stations where the exercise will be happening.
Mambo ya usalama itakuwa shwari. Na mimi naambiwa ati polisi wanajua kila mahali, wanatishia watu. Tangu lini polisi wanakutishia kama mwananchi? Si unafurahia kuona? Si ndio unajua kuna usalama? Kwa hivyo mambo zingine tuseme ikae kando kwa sababu those are destructive.
This by-election is perceived to be a decider between who commands the Makueni County after witnessing Professor Kifudha Kibwana, who is the governor of this county, leading his troops for campaigning for independent candidate Timothy Maneno, whereby Wiper party leader Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka led OCA principals and lieutenants for their candidate Aisho Mwarewa, whereby the UDA chairman Johnston Muthama led UDA troops in vote-handling mission to campaign for UDA candidate Daniel Kivuva Musau. So it is a matter of wait and see who carries the day. We'll keep you updated on what happens here in this particular ward across all polling stations. Reporting for TV 47 from Kikumini Secondary School, Makueni County, Dennis Simon, back to your studio.
And in TV 47 Business, Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Peter Monya conveyed the politics of Mount Kenya to tea farmers from the region, asking them to vote in a candidate who will have their interest at heart. Speaking during a meeting with tea growers in Embu and Tharaka Nithi counties, Munya asked the tea growers to support a leader who will be endorsed by President Uhuru Kenyatta. Tea farming has begun to pick up its price since the inception of the Munya law, thereby strengthening the farmers' confidence in the CS and promising to support the leader that is the CS will direct them to elect.
Kasi endelee isiendelee. Bas. Kweli ni kweli Kateos wanasema Munya anaenda. Lakini hakuna mahali naenda. Niko humu. Hapa hakuna mahali.